top of the morning to you. It's the 18th of December. It's about 11:45. The weather outside is mild. It must be about 10 to 12 centigrade. There's a bit of a breeze, but it's very, very pleasant. And we have been out and about taking the youngsters to nursery and primary school and whatnot. We left the house at 8 o'clock this morning. What am I reading at the minute? In between looking after the grandchildren and household chores, you know, chopping wood, making fires, hoovering, all that kind of thing. What am I reading at the minute? Well, it always amazes me what you can pick up in a charity shop for next to nothing. And I'm reading about this man here, a book about this man, Michael Caine, born 1933, now aged 91. And I'm reading this book. Now, it's a bit earthy in places, but very, very well written. I'll get rid of myself. Very well written and very, very readable. So this one is called Blowing the Bloody Doors Off and Other Lessons in Life. And Michael Caine, throughout this book, tells us a bit about himself. A very interesting boy, working class boy. Father was a fishmonger in Billingsgate Market, and his mother was a char lady. Worked hard, and he had a lot of time for his parents. Father was in Second World War, died young at 56, and Michael Caine loved his father, although his father didn't express too much love, but he was a good dad. Michael Caine's mother, he was very close to her, and he treated her really, really well, and she gave him an awful lot of lessons about life. And Michael Caine, throughout his life so far, has kept his very down-to-earth attitude. His wife, Shakira, was asked what really made her attracted to Michael Caine. Was it his suave good looks? Was it his dress sense? Was it his speech? Was it his humour? Was it whatever it was? And she turned around and said, and this was in an interview, and she said, and Michael Caine eavesdropped on this, and she said it was the way he treated his mother. Isn't that interesting? But anyway, about this book, I bought this book for £1, and it's £20. The book itself was written in 2018, and it's nearly 300 pages long. I'm barely through the first chapter, and I am finding it fascinating because Michael Caine talks about people from the film industry that I know. I watched in films so many times. Over the 6 decades of his remarkable career, film legend Michael Caine has starred in some of the biggest movies of all time, from Alfie to the Dark Knight Trilogy, and he's made it look easy. In reality, it has been one huge learning curve, from his unlikely beginnings as the son of a Billingsgate fish porter to pursuing his dream of being an actor, finding success and managing every twist, trick and turn to stay at the top of his game. The greatest trick, as he says, has always been to grasp every bloody opportunity that appears in front of me. Now, in his 85th year, whenever he wrote the book, he looks back at an incredible life and career and everything that it's taught him, sharing hard-won wisdom, brilliant insight and stories, as well as acting skills. And the movies we can all learn from it. He says, if I can do it, anyone can. here he is at his wisest, funniest, and most illuminating best. And this book is full of stories. And he says, over my 60 years in the movie business and my 85 years of life when he wrote this book, I have learnt a lot from my many glittering successes and my many disastrous failures. He's humble enough to tell you about his failures. I wanted to look back at it all, at all its fun and all its misery and struggle, its comedy, its drama, its romance and its tragedy, and find in this long and eventful life the lessons I've learned. And he's sharing those with us. A lot of time for Michael Caine. He tells it like it is. He's a no-nonsense guy. I have a list in my head of those people in life that I would love to have as a dinner guest, and maybe you have that kind of list as well. It says this is for Shakira, Nikki, Natasha, Taylor, Algra, and Miles, and for you. So if I was having a dinner guest list, Michael Caine would certainly be one of the guys I would have invited. So that's introduction. He did 2 years in Korea. He was a 70-a-day smoker, but he gave that up in the 70s. And is this his mother? I'm not too sure. But from low beginnings, you know, he hit the big time. And he says an awful lot of it. And he says there were better actors and actresses and all the rest of it around than he was. But he just happened to be in the right place at the right time. And he was picked up and they weren't. And there's lots and lots of comical stories and serious points made, life lessons divulged in this book. And because I have watched quite a number of his films, and know the actors and actresses that he's talking about, from the, you know, the 60s, 70s and 80s and 90s and all the rest of it. This book appeals to me. This is actually his I think it's his fourth book. Up Wikipedia. He's written 4 memoirs across several decades. He published his first, What's It All About? The title is a quote from the title song, 1966 film Alfie, which started him off. And then second memoir, The Elephant to Hollywood, published in 2010, refers to his journey from working class roots in the Elephant Castle neighbourhood in London to Hollywood success. And Jane Maslin of the New York Times reviewed it positively, calling Caine a charming raconteur and wittingly self-depreciating. And I find that too. There's no airs and graces about him. He's not a bum. He doesn't blow about himself. His third memoir, Blowing the Bloody Doors Off, which I have, was published in 2018. Its title references an iconic quote from his 1969 hit The Italian Job, and I remember that. His fourth memoir, Don't Look Back, You'll Trip Over, My Guide to Life, was published in 2024. So he hasn't stood still and let the grass grow. And I've read one of his other books. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been Alfie. Might have been the Elephant to Hollywood. But I find him very, very readable. And there he is with his Charming wife, Shakira. He's he saw her in a coffee advert on TV and got his agent to find out who she was and get her number, and he phoned her for was it several weeks until she acknowledged him and got back to him, and I mean, he could have had his choice of any woman. You know, women were falling over themselves to be with Michael Caine, but he chose her above all the rest. Michael Caine, of course, is not his real name. He was born Morris Joseph Micklewhite in March 1933. Known for his cockney accent. I love the way Madness talk about Michael Caine in one of their songs, or is that the name of the song? He has appeared in more than 160 films over his career that span 8 decades and is considered a British cultural icon. Received numerous awards, including 2 Academy Awards, a BAFTA, 3 Golden Globe Awards, a Screen Actors Guild Award. As of 2017, the films in which Michael has appeared have grossed $7.8 billion worldwide. That's 2017. Caine is one of the only 5 actors to be nominated for an Academy Award for acting in 5 different decades. In 2000, he received a BAFTA Fellowship and was knighted by Queen Elizabeth II. And you know, look at the list of films. Zulu, a brilliant film made in 19. They don't make films like that anymore. The Ipcress File, The Italian Job, Battle of Britain, Get Carter, The Last Volley, The Man Who Would Be King, The Eagle Has Landed, A Bridge Too Far. I've watched quite a number of those. Loved The Man Who Would Be King, loved A Bridge Too Far, and it just goes on and on. All these roles, and that's the Wikipedia. I'm not going to recite it all to you. Some operator loved Zulu. I mean, that was some film. He did say himself that he took on a whole lot of different films in the 80s and 90s, and that he probably shouldn't have been in, shouldn't have taken a part in or role in, but he says the bottom is nice house, paid the mortgage. Interest in music. Good friend of Elton John. Conservative. And the films he has made are just an unbelievable cross section. Well, there you go. If you can get your hands on any of the Michael Caine books, they're always worth reading. As I say, quite earthy in places, but a jolly good read, and an awful lot of sound advice offered through these books. So that's what I'm reading. I was reading it this morning. Haven't been going out on the bike so much, although the weather has been very kind. Just so much to do coming up to Christmas. That's the way it is, folks. So, hope you're good where you are.